Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 646, recorded live on Saturday, July 31st. Hey, congratulations, everyone. We made it through 7 months of 2021. Yay.
Only 5 to go.
Yeah, right. I'm your host, Patrick. With me this week, we have returning to the show, Arkat.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this.
Yeah, we do tend to kind of run right in that middle ground, right, where it's usually morning for me. It's like early afternoon for another one of our guests, Voodoo. Welcome, sir.
Hey, everyone.
And then we also have Samus, who's right in the middle. I think we actually, well, say hi, Samus.
Hi, Samus. But to be fair, it's always like 2 o'clock in the morning for me, regardless of what it is for everybody else in the world.
I was going to say that we may have every U.S. time zone represented here.
We have a mountain timer.
We do. That would be Arcot.
Oh my gosh.
Voodoo's on East, and I'm on West. I think you're in Central, right? So
I am. But no one from the free state of Arizona.
Oh, where they don't have
They don't have a daylight savings time.
right.
Where life is glorious and beautiful.
And hot.
I don't know. No, it's lovely there. It's lovely there.
I used to live there. Don't tell me.
Oh God, I went to visit for like a training for a 2-week training or whatever. I think it was 110 every day, and the air conditioner in the hotel was broken. It was amazing. I loved every minute there. But I'm from Kansas, so here, if it's like 100 degrees, the humidity makes your skin fall off.
Mhm.
So it was just so gorgeous there. Like everything just like, I don't even think I broke a sweat. It was awesome.
I mean, I'm just from Seattle, where when it gets above 80, people start to melt. So, Nightcrawler in the chat is also mentioning that Hawaii also, I think, doesn't have daylight savings time. Or at least that's what I'm inferring from. Anyways, hello, welcome. This week's screenshot, Viridimi Light Shot reaches level 20 in the 518th screenshot of the week. Thanks for sending in this week's screenshot. Yeah, it's a very nice wing shot. That's the ASMR wings, not Reaper wings, in case you are wondering about that. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online nearly every weekend. You can catch us through Twitch, YouTube, the DDO forums, iTunes, or from our website at DDOcast.com. DDOcast is hosted by Cyber Ears, the awesome podcast hosting network, and shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be... I'm just going to say not next weekend. That feels like a safer bet than saying there might be a show. However, you can all give Arkat your condolences, because he's going to have to put up with me for a weekend. Or at least a few hours.
At least for a few hours on Sunday.
Yeah. I will be traveling this weekend, so, and by happenstance, I have a cousin who's getting married in the same city that Arkat lives in. So
yeah, I wouldn't call it a city. It's a small town of about 7,500 people out in kind of west central Wyoming, in a town nobody's ever heard of. Yet PJ somehow has a family member that lives here.
That is incredible.
It's an amazing coincidence.
I mean, not if you know that particular cousin. Like, it's totally a place he would end up. But anyways, on the podcast this week, we're going to talk about some gaming community news. Mostly, we're going to be talking about the Saltmarsh Bundles, which were previewed this week. So we're just going to jump into game news, which again, there hasn't been hardly any news for the last 2 weeks, except this week on the Wednesday live stream, Jerry showed us some pictures of what we can expect for the bundling and the pricing of Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh, the mini expansion. I will preface this by saying that this is not the official page. There are details that we still don't know, but I think we have, I'm going to say probably 90 to 95% of the details. behind these pricings and what's kind of coming and that kind of a thing. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it now. Yeah, so we got some fun stuff to kind of look at with that, which should be, I think, I'm kind of excited to look at some of this stuff. Let's see. There's 3 bundles again: standard, collectors, ultimate. And there's the pricing. I'll just kind of say is $19.99, $59.99, $99.99. And for comparison, that's the standard for our more expansions has usually been $39.99. Right, I'm gonna make sure I get these numbers right. $39.99. The collectors is usually $80, and the ultimate fan is usually $119 or is it $129? $129. So depending on where you are, $20 to $30 off is what we're looking at. The standard edition is the content, the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh content, Monster Manual 8, and Epic Destiny Access. That's it for $19.99. The collector's edition adds in the Universal Tree Horizon Walker. It also adds in the Smuggler's Cosmetics, which we will preview here in a few moments. It will also have a Salty Smuggler's Mimic Cosmetic Pet, a Smuggler's Mount, and a Bullywug Rogue Hireling, the heroic version. The level for that is going to be 3 to match the content. And then the other, then we get into the Ultimate Pack. And the Ultimate Pack is, again, kind of have the same stuff, plus it will have unlimited Spark of Logic access. I'm going to put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. The Lizard Folk Cosmetics. Again, both of the cosmetic sets are a helm, armor, and a cloak. A Baby Crocodile Cosmetic Pet. A Lizard Armor Mount. An Epic Bullywug Hireling. Instant Teleport item to Saltmarsh. And a Dimensional Hireling folder with an asterisk next to it. The Spark of Logic will be another spark that you can put into sentient items. They have not said how much that's going to be, or how much XP that's going to be. But the last one was 50k. The one before that, the set before that is 40k. So I'm sort of expecting it to be 60k additional to get that next slot. But we haven't seen any numbers on that. And then the Dimensional Hireling folder has an asterisk on it. And so Dimensional is the size, so it's going to be a big Hireling folder. The thing that I'm really kind of concerned about with this is it's going to be a bound to character thing, and they're only going to give it to you once per account. But we don't know what the asterisk means. So,
the asterisk is probably this will appear on the first tune you log in after purchasing.
That's kind of what I'm expecting. And I don't know how, like, that to me for a Hireling folder really, really lessens the factor of, oh, that's helpful. Because, and I understand that not everyone has this problem, but I have all of the expansions and all of the Hirelings that came with them. And that's what, like, I don't know, like,
It's a bunch.
Yeah.
It's more than the bag. It's more than the bag. More than their Hireling folder, the biggest one. I have the biggest one, and I can't carry all of them with me.
Yeah.
So I have
So
to go into the bank.
So there you go. If you only get one of those, I'm super less interested in the Dimensional Hireling folder.
I feel like now's the opportunity that I can like insert the puking noises I wanted to as we looked at this entire thing. Is that fair? Are we ready to go to me taking a dump on this?
Go for it.
Really quick. Okay. I think the standard edition is probably where most people are at. And I think what we should do in the future is get away from this tier system and let people pick up stuff a la carte. This hits like a whole lot of problems that we have in the game in general. Strimton did a pretty good video this last week. And one of his chief complaints were storage. So now you have a whole nother pack of tiers of cosmetics that are going to become storage issues all the way through. I know a lot of people aren't interested in them, but like, for example, I love having the universal enhancements trees and the hirelings. If I could like pick those things up a la carte instead of charging me like $100 to get that, which is what I'll probably end up getting because I do like those things, and now I'll have to deal with the side effects of cosmetics and whatnot. Let people buy this stuff a la carte right away from the beginning. I realize that's part of like what the DDO points is. Like, this is the premium you're getting in advance. Charge me a premium price to get it in advance. That's still fine. But like, look at this tier, the standard to collector's edition. It's $40 for Universal Horizon Tree and Smuggler's Cosmetics. Like, this is insane, right? I'm not out of line.
Heroic Rogue too in there for that.
And the Heroic Rogue is in there. Okay, that's to be fair. That changes it a little bit, but still, that's a big step, right? For something that's going to be problematic in a lot of ways. And then all the way to 100, I'm just like, man, again, I want to support people, and I think a lot of these things are really good and really exciting. But again, I feel like it's a huge leap. I feel like a lot of the pricing lately has been a problem. And I think this continued, like for the mini expansion, I was really thinking, get out of here for $75.
Yeah, a couple notes that I haven't mentioned that we probably should, as we kind of start talking about it. VIPs are going to get 10% off if you are a VIP when you purchase the expansion. And the first month, Jerry was a little unsure on some of the details around it, but you're going to get a special ticket that you can go redeem for what sounds like some elixirs of discovery. So there are some, we'll say, perks for being a VIP. So I want to make sure we get that out there as we're starting to discuss this too. But please continue discussing it.
Well, those things certainly help on the overall evaluation, but like, I still don't quite understand these price points. Again, we're kind of joking about it a little bit earlier that I'm the central Kansas, middle of nowhere guy. So like, $100 is quite a bit of money. And again, as a lifetime D&D fan and probably a lifetime DDO fan, that still seems like an awful lot to hit me in the middle of the summer. I mean, I did know it was coming, but this seems like a big sticker shock to me.
Yeah, I would agree. PJ, and you were probably in on the discussion with the rest of the lava divers,
A few
where
of
there
them.
were several of us, including me, who have bought the ultimate fan bundles of all the previous expansions. But this will be the first expansion, even you can call it a mini expansion if you want, but I'm just gonna call it an expansion. This will be the first expansion where, I did not get the ultimate fan bundle, and I'm not even going to get the collector's edition, for precisely the reason why Samus pointed out. The $40 difference between the standard edition and the collector's edition, when really all you get is some cosmetics, a level 3 hireling that most of us aren't even going to really use, if at all. Maybe use it for a few levels, if at all. I mean, and the Horizon Walker tree, which I will point out, you will be able to get it with gatekeeper favor. So the Horizon Walker is supposed to be a universal tree, but it's really for bow users, and I can't think of a lot of people that have multiple bow users on their account. So what they're really going to do is they're going to take their one bow user. I mean, you have crossbow users, you've got hand crossbow users, you've got, great crossbow users, you've got throwers, but just regular longbow users, most people might have one. So all you really need to do is just get the favor on that one tune, and then you get it for free. So I don't see the value. I just don't see the extra $40 worth of value. That's the difference between the standard edition and the collector's edition. So I'm just going to get the standard edition. And like I said, this will be the first expansion that I will have not gotten the Ultimate Fun Fan Bundle. And the price difference between the collector's edition and standard editions is unreasonable. So that leaves me to get the standard edition. So I think you're going to have a lot of devoted DDO players, at least people that I've spoken with, who are just going to get the standard edition. And it really just seems to me that the marketing department there, whoever it is that's making the pricing decisions, just seems to be really struggling with, what really matters to the players. I mean, the hirelings are okay. The Horizon Walker tree, I guess, is okay. But like I said, it's really going to only be useful probably for one player on an account, one tune on an account. The teleport to Saltmarsh, I mean, isn't the Saltmarsh stuff, given to you in the grove, the druid grove? So couldn't you just, if you had UMD, couldn't you just use a teleport scroll to get to the druid's grove and then do all the Saltmarsh stuff from there? I mean, why would you pay $100 to also get the instant teleport to Saltmarsh stuff? There's just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. This pricing, it's just really bizarre to me.
I think the answer to your question about the teleporting thing, my understanding is you will get to Saltmarsh from the Grove, but I think it's gonna be like, shoot, I can't remember what the official name for it is, but you're gonna travel. There's gonna be an NPC that will travel you to a Saltmarsh public area or a Saltmarsh area of some kind. I don't know if you'll have to run through an explorer area from there to get there or not, like Feywild, or pseudily even kind of Ravenloft.
Right.
But it does sound like you will key into that content from the Grove.
Okay.
So.
Real fast, as a quick side note on this, if you would like to make this collector's edition worth it for me, SSG, do what you did with the mount stable, but for all of these teleport items. Carry on.
Or the cosmetics that you give us.
The cosmetics.
I would take either one of those two things.
I mean, the cosmetics, we've gotten to this in the past many times.
Yeah.
I think that their excuse of not being able to put it in a bag, a separate cosmetic bag, is just that. And it's an excuse for some reason. I'm not sure why they seem to think they can't do it. But there's lots of options for this. But this is one that we know that they can do. Right? They have the horse template. It takes like probably 2 or 3 days, maybe at the most, for someone to copy that template and make it work for these teleport items. Just do it, please. It would be huge. It would be like the most worthwhile thing on this tier. You put it in the top tier all by itself, I'd buy the damn thing.
Yeah, their storage definitely is. Storage seems to be one of the largest problems DDO has now, and they're just making it worse with all these cosmetic horses, helmets, cloaks.
I mean, those are the things that I really love. I want them to keep doing those things. Sure. But I want them to realize that it is a problem and take some additional steps to fix it and rectify it. Like I said, like this teleport system, that'd clean up like 7 items, right? With all the teleport things that we have now. Like, that's huge. That's a massive thing.
And when you get into the inventory problem, that doesn't even circle into the conversation the fact that there are, like, in this update, apart from the expansion content, we're getting there are 7 packs worth of content that has the scroll seal shard mechanism that's being updated to have better epic versions and legendary versions and it's like there's just a ton. There's going to be a ton of new gear that is viable. But Voodoo, why don't you kind of jump in with some of your thoughts on the?
Yeah. So I totally agree pretty much with like everything that Samius and Arkat were saying about these bundles. I think it is kind of a binary choice. It's either going to be standard edition or ultimate fan bundle for most people, because I agree that the value, the $40 extra for collector's edition just doesn't seem to be there. I don't, unless you're completely, absolutely gaga over the smuggler's cosmetics and you're like, I gotta have that. But either I just don't have the money to get the ultimate bundle, or you really don't like the lizard folk stuff. I just don't see a lot of people getting the collector's edition. But maybe I'm wrong. That Bullywug Rogue is just level 3, so not going to be a lot of usefulness there. I mean, it's cool. It's really cool. But what I mean is, it's just going to be low level usefulness. So a very small window of your character's life are you going to use that? And so, the other stuff there, Monster Manual 8, I'm VIP, I already have that. Epic Destinies, I've had that for years. Horizon Walker Tree, like Arkat said, you're just going to get that if you want it. You're just going to get it. Most of us are going to get it through favor on whatever character we want. So there's like literally zero value of that for me. And, the cosmetics, they're nice looking cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
They did a nice job. I personally just am not that much into cosmetics. So, I think they could have added more fluff. Let's pepper in some DDO points and some XP pots and, whatever. Let's add some more value here. I definitely think there needs to be value added across the board.
Yeah, I have the pirate cosmetics up for the moment. I'll put the lizard folk up in a little bit as we keep discussing.
And I also agree with, we definitely need to combine all these teleportation clicky thingies, because they're taking up real inventory space in our bags. And it's time to have a pet stable or pet corral for all of our hirelings, because there's just so many expansions. We've got scarecrows and owl bears and panthers and shield guardians. And really, are we supposed to keep these on every single toon? That's a lot of storage space. So, if this dimensional hireling folder was instead a hireling corral, if you will, that would have been pretty cool.
I'd even there is also, I think, another option with the hirelings. If you it's the cosmetics inventory thing, it's been mentioned in the chat a few times as well. It's not a perfect solution, but they sort of pseudily solved it, because they're bound to account, right? So if you can just delete them, and if you decide later that you want them and you deleted them, you can just make a new character and get them, right? Get them all over again, and then you can pass them to characters. If they would do that with these hirelings, you could sort of pseudily alleviate that way.
Just don't try that with your Onyx Panther.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. There's like a level, heroic level owlbear, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, remember there was a while back that like bugs were happening and stuff at your TR cache would disappear sometimes.
Yep.
And if you reported it soon enough, you'd caught it. But who's going to catch that bloody owlbear? Not me. So then, like a year later, I figured out that it was gone, and they're like, "Sorry, we're not going to fix this."
Yeah, I mean,
and if people watch my stream, you'll realize that I use a lot of these weird things to pull off stuff that I shouldn't be doing. But I pull out these hirelings. I love the gold hirelings. Ellery's my constant traveling companion. She's level 3. I'm level 29. It's me and her facing the dungeon. So I'm excited to have these options, but I need to have them accessible.
I mean, if you made them bound to account, you sort of solve that inventory problem. Plus the fact that I'm only getting one dimensional augment or dimensional hireling folder starts to work, right? Because I can put it in that, and I can just take that hireling folder around if I want to.
Again,
right?
If this dimensional hireling folder is less of an item and more of a, which it is apparently, it's a physical item, and it was like that stable, I would be excited to buy the $100 edition.
Mhm.
Say you shave 10 backpack slots in my inventory, like you give me 10 inventory slots because you do something like this, I'm in.
Especially when you're talking
Like
about
these are,
how TR heavy the game is, right?
yeah. Well, and it's the same thing with Reaper Wings, right? How come once you have Reaper Wings, you can't unlock all that and unlock it? Like I bought this one time, boop, there it is. In this life, I want to turn it on, boop. Or all these like feats that you get now from the Reaper or the Reaper rewards, boop, boop, boop. Like for the hardcore servers, have all that stuff transition into this new system that you're doing, and just make everyone's life much easier. These are bones that we actually care about that are quick and easy fixes. And it shows like a willingness to throw those bones to the community. Like, oh yeah, we realize you're having inventory problems. So but you want to support the game. So we're going to release $100 expansion, and it's going to have 36 more things for you to have, and no real additional savings in your backpack space.
I do have the lizard folk cosmetics up for folks to look at as well. If you're just kind of listening and not paying
They
attention,
look amazing. I
They
have to
do.
say, I have not seen these, and I'm like, wow, these are really phenomenal. You'd look really cool if you were the only guy in your raid that looked like that. I'm
They
not.
are. They did a fantastic job. And is that Crocagator really that big? Because if it is, that's the biggest cosmetic that we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Also, I want to be clear that even though it's pictured there, Cordovan is not included in that bundle. You do not get Cordovan. That's just the other stuff you see there.
If you'd like a used Cordovan, contact me directly. I'll ship you mine.
Right.
No, they did a fantastic job. They do
it's
look phenomenal.
it's absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of subjective value here, and that's the point that I've been driving home on my channel. That people have been asking is it worth it? If you love those cosmetics, there's a lot of value there for you. If you love sentient jewels and you want that lizard folk sentient jewel, there's a lot of value for you there. I think the Bullywug rogues, especially the epic one, could be super cool. But it's I think the cosmetics weigh in heavily into your decision, and how much you personally value that is gonna be the big determining factor.
Oh yeah, I agree. But again, remember how I was talking about you'd be really cool if you're the only guy that looked like this in your raid group? How much does that shave off when there's two of you? Gross.
Like when you wear the same. Do you have this problem, Samus, when you wear the same prom dress to the dance as someone else?
Sometimes. Mary and I hooked up to do some questing not very long ago, and we were wearing the same outfit, and the monsters kept trying to hit me thinking that I was her, and it was very confusing for all of us. I didn't like it.
Sure. Here's kind of my general thoughts. I would have preferred to have seen these price points, either one of two things. Either I think this would have been a good time to have the what's it called? The Shadowfell conspiracy model, where it was you can buy this expansion, and then on top of that, there's a bundle you can buy with either. There were like 2 levels of expansion, I think, for Shadowfell, and then there was a bundle that you could just like add on to it that had some other stuff. So I kind of wonder if that might have been a better route to go, or it's not quite what Samus you were talking about with like an a la carte system, but
Yeah,
it's a little closer to that.
It was close. It was, but I really think that they should just move into this a la carte system and just kind of let people pick and choose. Because people who are into the cosmetics are really in the cosmetics and can be held back by not wanting these hirelings, right? But people like me might, who are more interested in the hirelings and the repeatable for new characters, like for hardcore or stuff like that. Like these are things that are really have consequences for me. I might love Horizon Walker and want to do Horizon Walker for the next hardcore.
Right.
If I don't buy Horizon Walker now, I don't, it's gone. So like, I'm really at a loss. It's a weird balance here where I feel like we're being asked to pay a premium, and I don't think the value's there. And the other option, as Voodoo said, if it's a primary decision or a 1 or 0, like then you're down to the standard edition, and it's like there's a lot of value loss. And I don't know why we're trying to make a tier system like this when instead you could be like customize your own bundle. Let's start with the cosmetics. Let's add this in. Let's do this thing. Like this is your opportunity to get that extra sell from people, like your once a year like expansion to get that extra influx of cash. Give us an opportunity to pay. Lessa says all or used to say all the time, make it easy to take my money.
Right?
Make
Well,
it
what would
easy
you
for me to
take?
give it to you.
What would let's do a round table. What would everybody take if you could do a la carte? Which items would you click on? I'm just just for curiosity's sake.
100% Horizon Walker and all of the hirelings. 100%.
I could take or leave the level 3 hireling. I think the only place that I would likely get value out of that is on hardcore. I mean, I don't spend enough time at that level range. And when I am at that level range, I run quests that I don't need a trapper for. I mean, there might be some traps, but I mean, STK 3 is like the most dangerous trappy thing I run through at those levels. I guess I could use it in like if I wanted to do Bookbinder Rescue or something like that, or the second fresco quest, which I usually skip if I don't have a rogue. So maybe I could get some value out of it there, but I don't need those.
I'll quickly add here that like druidic past lives and your guild buffs that rush your hirelings and stuff like that have a huge advantage. Hirelings actually have a much larger lifespan if you have access to those kind of things. But you're probably not that far off. That's probably your window. You're probably going to get like level 6 quests out of this thing and not much more.
I mean, my TR path avoids quests that are super heavy trapping.
Right, and that's probably true for a lot of people. I'm a person like I took a life off of the hardcore to do like all the quests leveling up, but on a wizard instead of on a tank. So like I feel maybe I'm different that I'm a person that just like does all this massive pile of stuff at different levels just for fun. But I feel like you get a lot of value out of those hirelings. Even the level 3 ones, I think, are still good.
I think I missed mentioning that there's a sentient jewel of the lizard folk in the upper pack. I don't think I mentioned that.
You said something about sentient jewel. That would be the other thing.
Well, there's the spark of logic, but which also my understanding is the spark of logic will be available through the saga.
What does it mean here? Because the way it's worded, it says unlimited spark of logic access. That's wordy for if you just get a spark. I don't know what that means. Do we know what it means?
I'm assuming that means that you like any one of your characters all your characters get one. I don't know if it means you have to talk to someone to get one or what that exactly entails, but I'm assuming it's just gonna be like it's super easy to get one. Like here you go in some form or another. Or I'm assuming.
So back onto the a la carte thing. I think the things that I would take are obviously the Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh content. That would be the obvious one to take.
Okay. I would assume that we would start with that as a base, right?
Yeah. The Horizon Walker, I don't know. Maybe. It seems like I said, I've only got one toon that's really interested in taking it, so maybe it just might be more effective for me just to get the favor and get it that way. I am interested in the Sentient Jewel, the Lizard Folk Sentient Jewel. I have all of the other ones, including the one from Strahd. So I'm a completeness kind of person, so it would really kind of bug me if I did, if I was missing one. So I think I would probably, get that one. I don't care about any of the cosmetics. I don't care about any of the mounts. I honestly don't care about any of the hirelings. The what do you call it? The spark of logic. Again, it's really not clear what they mean by unlimited access.
Fire Eater actually gave us a description in chat. Patrick, do you have it up? Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I apparently missed a dev tracker post. So the unlimited Spark of Logic access is a spark that will unlock one filigree slot. It's bound to account and can be acquired by speaking to an NPC. This means you can get the spark any number of times. The spark is available in-game as a rare drop in the Epic Saga reward list for Saltmarsh. He also mentioned earlier that the dimensional fire or hireling folder, is what we're expecting. The first person who logs in, you get one.
Okay, so for the sparks, if you didn't feel like running all the Saltmarsh stuff to get for a true, I think what you got to do is you have to be to do the entire I believe it's 9 or 10 quests.
Yeah.
So you have to get the saga. So and then you have to do true elitist tier. And then you have a 33% chance to get one. I think I would probably pay to get the unlimited access to the Spark of Logic.
This
that
sounds
would be
huge.
one I think I would get.
This sounds a lot better to me. This is like a substantive value, I think.
Sure.
Now that this has been pointed out exactly what it is, this is a pretty reasonable thing. Again, I still think it's a pretty high price point, but this does give a little bit more leeway towards the top tier in my mind.
But I wouldn't care about the dimensional hireling folder, and I wouldn't care about the teleport item to Saltmarsh.
To me,
So
that
it
item
would be like 3 or 4 things would be what I would get.
Oh, sorry, Arkat.
Okay.
That unlimited Spark of Logic access seems to, something that would have a lot of value to someone with a lot of alts. Someone like me who plays 2 main tunes, that, even if I was going a la carte, I wouldn't go for that. And if you have a lot of alts, well, it's pretty cool, but do you have that much sentient XP to feed all those things to level them up? If I was going a la carte here, I really think the only thing that I would click on would be that level 30 Bullywug Rogue Hireling. I think they did a beautiful job on the Lizard Folk cosmetic. I think they did a beautiful job on the Smuggler's outfit and mount, but I'm just not that into, cosmetics and stuff. So it just, for me, I personally wouldn't select that stuff, even though like the Lizard Folk stuff is super cool. It's just, it's not my flavor. I feel like there's a missed opportunity. I think like where's the nightmare mount? We saw screenshots of that. We know that there's a nightmare in the game now coming. I think that should have been added here. If there was a nightmare mount and that was the only way to get it was through the complete edition, you could have taken this Lizard Folk mount and stuck it in the Wild Hunt raid or something instead. I think a nightmare mount would have been a really, really interesting add to the complete or to the Ultimate Fan Bundle.
That's a good point. That's a really excellent point, Voodoo. That's if they had added a nightmare mount to the Ultimate Fan Bundle, and that was the only way you could get it, I would have bought the Ultimate Fan Bundle. Even though I don't want any of the cosmetics, I don't want any of the other mounts. I want a nightmare mount. I want a nightmare mount really badly. And that would have been a way all those people that said that they were going to get the standard edition and said, I bet you a good percentage of them would have said, no, I'm going to change my mind. I'll get the Ultimate Fan Bundle just for that mount.
Yeah, to kind of circle back to some of my thoughts on the bundles. The standard edition, the Monster Manual and Epic Destiny Access are, I don't think those have a ton of value. Now, I understand, with the Monster Manual, if you stopped being VIP, you would lose access to it, but you would now still have it from this. So I think some people are missing a little bit of the value that is there. But also, it's not, I don't know that it really fills in that extra cost for the content. The Epic Destiny access, like if that's something that they expect people to get value out of, like they need to reassess that. Like if it's just in there as like a here you can have this as well, and we're just giving this to you. Like if this wasn't here, we wouldn't give you something else, kind of a thing. Fine, but if like you're expecting us to get value out of Epic Destiny access, because like one, it's at least was with Menace the Underdark expansion, and two, Who is playing epics without epic destinies?
Okay, so we talked about this on the last one of these, I think, right? And I had mentioned that Epic Destiny Access was on there. I think this is just like their default. Hey, we want to make sure that people are getting this regardless. Like, you want to just buy the newest expansion, we gotcha. Here you go. Like, I think that's just a solid that SSG is doing to new players in general. But we see
New
it here,
players.
and I just I think it's just a perk that we're supposed to like not really consider a perk for most of us.
So
I
that's
think the new
fine, but then
I think the new players thing. Sorry to PJ, but I think the new players reason, if that's one of the ones that that SSG is given as a reason to add this, I think it's a new player. What new players? There may be, as far as I can tell, there aren't that many new players. So,
Well,
and even if you were a new player, it seems to me you would want to get at least Ravenloft or Sharn or
I
any of the
don't
other three
disagree.
past expansions that also include the Epic Destinies.
right.
I just don't buy the new player excuse.
So
So
like if it's
again,
just
they're
in
not
there, then
using
that's
that.
fine.
That's me saying that. That's my logic behind it. But real quickly to address this, I hope that Voodoo sees at least as many new players as I do. I feel like I get probably 15 or so new players a week checking out the stream. Like, hey, I'm looking at it, I'm playing it, blah blah blah. I'm thinking to spend a little bit of money, and these are exactly the kind of things that I point them to. The standard edition for things, uh, getting Sharn or Ravenloft, one of those two, and then holding out if you can for like Black Friday sales. Someone reminded me about a Black Friday sale, and I was about to buy something. I was like, oh, you're right, they probably will do that, so I'll hold off to Black Friday. Like these, I see them. They're here. Voodoo, you see them?
Yeah, I would say a handful a week though, not quite 15.
Oh, I'm
But yeah,
saying 15 a month or so, give or
oh, a
take.
month. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
probably say that.
probably like 5 a week, somewhere in that ballpark. Some weeks are a
Hmm.
little heavier. But,
Which
like,
is
they're
great.
coming in. Yeah, they're coming in. So, like, them taking a little bit of time to market a small bonus for these people is good. A $20 bill for this is gonna be a great deal. I have 0 qualms being a streamer saying, "Yeah, the $20 bill, you can't go wrong with that."
Well, so for me, it's like if Epic Destinies here is just like a standard, it's not really like it's not something that they're really building the pricing off of. It's just kind of a thing they're throwing in because they want people to have that access.
Yeah, I think that's just a
That's
bonus.
fine. But then at the same point, on the back half, that okay, so now I'm paying $20 for Monster Manual 8 and the content,
Which
and
seems, I would imagine, is about appropriate, right? I think.
but for a VIP, where I was going with is for a VIP, so I'm paying $20 for 10 quests, which is 2 packs worth that I would normally get for free, and Monster Manual 8, which I get as a VIP anyways, and you're giving me 10% off, so I'm saving $1.99. Right? Like I think that VIP 10% should be $10 flat for anyone you want. It should just be $10 off. It shouldn't be 10%. $1.99 off of the like that's not really it feels to me more it doesn't feel to me like a perk. It feels to me more like just like, oh, this will make him happy, but they didn't really think about it, right? Like it doesn't 10% off of $20 is not that much. Especially when like I just don't think the value is even there for that. And like think about as a VIP, like I went back and looked at some since Sharn, which was in May 14th, 2019. This is what we've gotten for quests. We got 5 quests with Docs. We got 8 quests with Keep on the Borderlands, which are shorter quests. We got 5 quests with Gatekeepers, 1 quest with Promise of the Flame, and 4 quests with Perils. We also got Delaire's and Catacombs was revamped and made epic. That's not new quests, but also they did put them in epic. So it kind
I
of
feel like
falls.
that counts.
I think it counts for like half. But then you're paying for Feywild, paying for Saltmarsh. Was it 6 quests for Docs? That sounds right. I never run the last one, so
It's always one that gets skipped.
but so that's I got to redo my math. So 10, 23, 24 quests in a little over 2 years as a VIP, and having to pay for, in that same time frame, Sharn, Feywild, and Saltmarsh. Like, a lot of the complaints that I'm hearing from players that I know and that I don't know are, where's the value? Like, as a VIP, and you're asking me to pay for 10 quests, there's no raid. Like, if there was a raid in this pack, I think probably 50 to 60% of the players that are balking at the pricing, even at the standard level, would go away if there was a raid in this pack. So I don't understand why they didn't, for an expansion, you don't put a raid in it.
I was gonna
Right, it's a mini
argue a bunch of
expansion.
stuff, but I feel
Okay,
like
what
I
kind of
wanted to let
expansion?
that sit there for a second. But I think I finally understand the disconnect that you and I in particular are having with this conversation. So, like, for me, when I'm evaluating these things, I'm not taking this VIP stuff into account at all. Uh, I'm just kind of thinking of that as like the minor bone they're throwing us instead of like actually doing stuff for VIPs in game that would probably make a little bit more sense. Um, I feel like they've cut the VIP bonus pretty hard lately. So like I think this is just another bone to try to get us off their back for a little bit, as opposed to actually working on those VIP bonuses for people in game. Like I keep talking about how VIP shouldn't have chest ransack. Like at the very least, I don't understand why this is still a factor, but like I don't think of this VIP as part of it or anything. Now, as for the content, I understand that. Like, why are we spending money so many times to get content? But part of that's just because we have such a niche game that we'd like to keep the servers on. Like, it's
That feels like
unfortunately
we're being
true.
held hostage, though, Samus. If
Well, it's
yeah,
part of it is. It really is. There's a big part of that is that we're kind of being hostage. If we want to keep playing this game, and I mean, I play this game what 50 some hours a week. I'm a pretty big fan. Um, but yeah, they've been bought and sold a couple of times. They're being told they have a certain amount of money to make, um, or who knows what could happen. And yeah, they're being told, hey, over this next X number of months, we got to make this much money. This is how we're going to do it. Um, I feel like the hardcore servers maybe didn't make as much for them as they're used to, and I think some of these price numbers got adjusted or something to kind of compensate. Because I can't in a world fathom how they landed on these numbers. Even in the same bloody world that the Wish of Destiny, which was pitched at them as a $5 idea, turned into a $50 idea like 4 years later or 5 years later. So I just, even in that world, I don't understand this pricing model.
I think the pricing model is too high. I was kind of hoping to see something in like the $15, $40, $80 range. That seemed, and that honestly feels kind of like what they're giving us. They're just, the prices are higher. The Again, like, I think you're getting a lot more clamor, and rightly so, that what's the value of being a VIP? If half of our content is going to be locked behind an expansion, then am I getting value out of being VIP? And I think that's going down sharply. And 10% off is, I mean, it's better than nothing, but I don't think, I think it should just be $10 off. Like, that's what you get off the higher tier. Like, have
I
it be
think it should be
$10 off of
scaled.
the content, not. And so it doesn't matter what pack you're buying; it's $10 off.
I don't know. I think it should be $10 off standard, $15 off collectors, and $20 off the Ultimate Fan Bundle. I mean,
I would buy the Ultimate Fan Bundle at that price.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. No, there's a question in chat. No, VIP is not like, the pricing of VIP is not going up.
I
But
don't think we said it was.
no, but if half of your content is locked behind expansions, then
It effectively goes up.
yeah, I mean, right.
I mean, if we were getting a bunch of stuff at the $15 a month VIP price, and now half of it that disappears, and we have to pay for that other half, then effectively the price for being a VIP goes up.
There's another factor here that I hasn't been brought up yet that I can't help but do a comparison in my head. I am VIP, been VIP for, going on 12 years. And, I think about Keep on the Borderlands, where we got a wilderness zone, 8 quests, and a public zone. And what I see here, and I haven't played it yet, so, maybe it's all bigger, but we're getting a wilderness zone, 10 quests, and a public zone. So 2 more quests than Keep on the Borderlands. As a VIP, I had access to Keep on the Borderlands included in my VIP.
Sure.
But as a VIP, this is not included.
I'm assuming these quests are going to be a little longer than Borderlands quests are super short.
Yeah, and like I said, I haven't run it yet. I didn't play it on Lamania, so, I got to reserve some of my judgment, but I can't help but think about that comparison between this and Keep on the Borderlands in terms of VIP.
Yeah.
Just wanted to mention that comparison.
I think the kind of overarching theme I'm getting from pretty much everyone is the price points don't match what you get for it.
This is a trend that SSG has had for a long time.
Sure.
It's always been a problem.
I think they've done a better job though with the Ultimate Bundle and the Standard Bundle in the last couple expansions though.
I would say that they've always made it where I have, again, like Arkat and a lot of people, I've always bought the biggest ones too. Right? This is the one that I was probably not gonna. I'm still hoping, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is like not out of character for them, but I just don't understand this world that they're living in where these decisions are correct.
Yeah. And although also to be fair, I don't think I've ever seen that middle tier be enticing.
Such garbage.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, every time they have that middle tier, like, I don't understand why you would get the middle tier.
I feel like I have actually advocated the middle tier on some of these in the past. Like the value of them have been reasonable in my opinion. This is the first year that I feel like the middle tier doesn't matter. And maybe that's part of my sticker shock as well. It's just such a large price increase for the value in there. And then it jumps again at the last tier for like all the value. So I don't know. I feel like some of these numbers should have been adjusted.
Another way of looking at these numbers too is if you compare it to the last couple expansions, the price difference, the thing that's missing really is a race and an iconic race.
A raid.
And a raid, yeah. It just needs to be.
I know.
If there was a raid in here, like people would be less.
And I'm not even the raider.
Yeah.
Like out of all of us in this group, I'm the person that's like not the raid person. I'm like, yeah, it needs a raid.
For the record, I'd be happy to wait another month if we got Bullywug as a playable race. And that was included as part of this. You get Bullywug and iconic Bullywug, and
yeah.
Now, imagine that. Bullywug and iconic Bullywug was part of this, and a Nightmare Mount in the Ultimate Bundle. Now we're getting somewhere with these prices.
You'd probably even add $10 and on the Ultimate and probably still work.
It's just they're just off. Off. It's the same thing with the Wish of Inheritance. I get on this soapbox every once in a while, but years ago I pitched this on a trip to a turbine. At the same time I pitched raid bypass timers. And at the time I think I suggested like $2 and $5 for these things. And when it finally arrives, it's $50. This is a world that I don't understand. And they feel like it's special. Like, hey, we brought these back. Guess what? Spend $50 for us. I would bought 100 of them if they were $5 a piece, but I have bought 0 of them at $50.
Yep.
I just don't understand the pricing models in this, people. I just don't get it. I'm going to be quiet for a little while. You guys go ahead.
I think
I'm very mad. I'm very mad.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much said it all. I don't know. Does anyone else want to say anything before we go out?
To be clear, I'm enthusiastic. I'm just not crazy about, the pricing or the value that's there for the pricing.
Yeah, and in the interest of disclosure kind of thing, like I'm almost certainly gonna get the ultimate bundle, but that comes less from I like the value in this and more from SSG because of DDOCast and reviews that like gave me the last 3 expansions. So like if they don't give me this one, I'm gonna buy the ultimate one because of that. So, but that's like that's not a normal experience by any imagination. And I think that they're going to see a lot more people buy the lower level than the upper level.
Yeah, I think they're going to get shocked by, like, just from the people in my chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had one other person say that they were even interested in the top tier. Everybody else literally was like, no, I'm just going to get the content and be out.
Yep.
If you're gaga over cosmetics and hirelings, you're going to love the Ultimate Fan Bundle.
I'm in the similar boat to Patrick. Like, I will drop my $100 on this to get it if I need to. But it's a big shock. This to me is it's the same thing as the season pass. Right? It's the same like surprise factor to my system that just came out of nowhere, and the season pass is like sold in a week, right? 12 days, 6 days, something weird. It's the
They had
same
1,000 of them, I think.
Yeah, but it's that same shock that just like came out of nowhere and they had the people just do it. But the value isn't there like the other one was. So to me, this is just it feels wrong.
If I was a normal player, I'm not even sure I would buy the standard version. I might just wait until I would probably just wait until it was available for points.
Points, okay.
I don't know. I think the standard version is still the best value.
Well, we're getting 10 quests. Like there's a spark in there that I wouldn't be able to get. Okay, I'll get it eventually. And there's no raid, so I'm not going to be like there's new loot, but it's not like my character level isn't increasing, so my current gearing should be, if not should be basically the same, if not maybe minorly less. I don't need more quests to run to meet the goals that I'm trying to get per life in terms of Reaper XP or anything like that. So do I need to I don't see why I would need, as a normal player, why would I need to drop $20 on 10 quests when if I wait 3 months, I can get it with points that I already have?
Those are fair. Like those are fair arguments. And again, I live in a slightly different world as a lot of people as a streamer, right? So like if I'm not out there playing with Horizon Walker next week, somebody's gonna be, right?
Sure.
So it's a little bit different world for me. But if I just look at it from a number situation, right? Most of the time, if I was going to expect an 8 or buy 2 4-pack quest things with the way that they model before, I feel like it's going to be roughly $15, and then permanent access to the monster manual for another $5. Like I feel like the value is there for that person who wants to spend the $20 to get it. If someone, it's still a good value if you're not interested in waiting on the content. I know I'm superstitious, but allegedly gear drops happen really well that first week. Allegedly. I don't know. But I don't know. I think the $20 is probably not that bad. The other ones it's such a weird shock to my system.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about other stuff. Bonus days, daily or double daily dice XP through August 1st. Also, VIPs continue to get 15% XP through August 1st.
Love it.
Yeah, that's where I've been seeing more VIP bonuses of late, So I'm kind of wondering if they're trying to have that be kind of some of that value.
It could be, but
But
it needs to be during the week for a lot of us. Like I
it was
stream
for
during the week. I
2
don't get a
weeks.
weekend.
It was for a weekend and then a week and then a weekend. The 15%. So, actually, a lot of their bonuses this summer seem to be lasting a little bit longer, but if they were going for the whole week kind of a thing. So, let's see. Sales for the week: Finders Keepers, so 30% off of Astral Shards, Sentient, and Jewelers toolkits and loot boosts through August 5th. This is also the final week of summer sales. So through August 5th, you might want to sit down for some of this, but 30% off of Monster Manuals 1 through 7. 50% off of Dragonborn Race, 50% off of all DDO store augments, and 75% off of a +8 Supreme Tome of Ability. So if you want +8s on all of your tunes, it's what, 14 something?
1,435 points, something like that. 1,460.
Smoking deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal, and also you also get 75% of not just the regular +8 tome of Supreme Ability, but you also get 75% off the upgrade tome of Supreme Ability. So
Yeah, if you
if you
have
already
all
have
+7s,
+7s, yeah.
But you only save 100 points. I mean, if you have all +7s, by all means, save the 100 points. But they are also bound to account. So, if you have plans in the future to make a new character, this would be a good time to make that investment for 1,500 points. It's a really, really good deal. I'm probably gonna buy one. I have a couple characters that have they had a +7 tome, and they've picked up like half, 2 or 3 of the +8s, and I'll probably still buy a +8 for them because it's so cheap. The coupon code, a free medium guild renown elixir. The code is Guild Speed. So if you're looking to pick up some extra guild renown, that you can do that through August 5th. Let's see, community news. The 433rd Chronicle, which didn't do because we did Ask the Devs last week. Again, thanks to the devs for joining us. So 433rd, Shrimtom deep dives into changing player and monster stats in Update 50 in a new video. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff to go into with that. Axel also made a metal cover of a song from the DDO soundtrack. Check out Yo Ho Ho Surly Kobold. His covers of that stuff is pretty impressive. He's just doing that straight up off of listening to it and kind of figuring it out as he goes. DDO CZ Auxilia creates a trailer for Korthos Village. Comment for that week. Your character goes back in time and accidentally squashes a bug. What happens?
That's ooze from under his boot.
Voodoo doesn't have a beard.
Well,
That's right. That's what that bug does.
the truth is it already happened, and then its family is getting revenge in the Dryad and the Demigod. That's where all those giant fire beetles are a result of.
I was going to say we get a raid with Saltmarsh, but the fansite news, we got a shout out for our show interviewing Dom and talking about Hardcore League Season 4. The DDO Players News gets beer and Oliphants. DDO Stream is highlighting Brighter Days Ahead, which was rating. Bard Life considers going solo, and Vooduspyce has coffee in chat. On Twitch, they're highlighting Deathy TV, running High Skull Reaper Heroics. Skull Priest 1210 gets into singing, and Captain Spockmat chills. And on YouTube, Ashen Wings delves. Sukai runs Reaper 1. Whisper Doom and Cyber Magician has an updated Barbarian build. Chronicle 34, we got a shout out for our Ask the Devs, with, again, thanks to Torque, Steelstar, Linabelle, and Cordovan for chatting with us. Axel has an overview of the upcoming Saltmarsh mini expansion, so if you'd like his thoughts, you can check out his video as well. What's the biggest advantage of using magic missiles for gardening.
Oh,
Less
man,
work.
I mean, it never
Hang
misses,
on.
right? So
Yeah. God, here it is. Yeah, I said that pesky darkness becomes less of a problem.
nice reference.
Yes.
Does using magic missile to kill all the rodents that are trying to eat your garden count as gardening?
Oh, I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
That seems like a good use of it. DDO Players has a problem with beer in Stormreach. DDO Stream is giving shoutouts to Doug Glendower doing roll call, DDOPL designing Kenneth crafting, and Voodoo's coffee and chat again, 2 weeks in a row, sir.
Woot.
Also on Twitch, Yizzy Guy raids, Samiku Gregorian speed levels, and Samius Gurobo runs a DC wizard.
Every time I go back and need to like recharge, I play that DC Wizard build, and I love it so much.
Also on YouTube, Dirty William churns butter, Ashen Wings has info about favor and farming, and Sophia plays the Forgotten Taverns. We were talking about newer players earlier. Like, it's kind of fun when you go through that Chronicle section there. Like, there's a lot of newer names in that list, so that's kind of neat. Let's see, the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh is arriving next week. I don't think we mentioned it, but they're expecting it August 4th, next Wednesday. Sending Some Games is also hiring, so if you are interested and in that industry, you can check out available positions at the Daybreak Games website. And Cordovan also previewed the stuff we talked about. That's kind of where we got it from. So if you want to check that out, you can do that.
Can we take a step back, PJ?
Yeah.
The Standing Stone Games hiring. It looks like at least several of the positions are customer service positions. They're hiring customer service, regular customer service people, which I assume are the DMs, and they're also hiring a customer service manager, which that took me by surprise because their customer service has been lacking for so long now, and I'm just really glad that it looks like they're going to be attempting to address customer service adequately again, and I really hope that they're successful.
I couldn't help but wonder when I saw those postings, like, are these new positions that are created, so they're expanding, or did people leave and they're trying to fill those positions? Do we know the answer to that question?
I'm going to
No
assume
idea.
both.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't understand why these positions are not remote. That's the other thing that weirds. Again, I don't understand. Like in the age
why
of
do you have to
COVID,
go to Need? Yeah, why do you have to go to Needham, Massachusetts to be a DM? I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like all that stuff is done.
I would do it
on
right now.
Yeah, from your house, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I do it right now. For a reasonable salary, I would DM DDO in the morning and I would stream DDO in the evenings. I'm in. The same reports would come in that file in for the manager to look over stuff to make sure that like I'm not making shit for my friends or anything weird like that. All those same protocols are in place. So why? I don't understand. Maybe for some training I could get it, but like
Yeah.
after a couple of weeks, why?
Yeah, go back home. No, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd think, especially after last year, that there would be more of a willingness to
Yeah, I mean the
break up
devs are working
in
from home.
office. Yeah,
Like I just don't understand this. It's something that I never managed to latch onto. I've butt heads against some of the people there about this a couple of times.
Let's see. Other stuff going on. Don't forget to check out D&D Night on DDO Stream Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow should be Rhymer the Frostmaiden. So you can check that out on twitch.tv/DDO Stream. Some of the Lava Divers and I are also doing some D&D. We're doing the Descent into the Avernus campaign, so you can check that out on twitch.tv/DDOcast. If you listen live, we'll be back in a couple hours. We're doing it at 4 p.m. Eastern today. We're doing another session. But I'm also putting the videos of that on our YouTube and DDOcast page as well. So if you'd like to watch us play D&D, you can do that. See, for DDOcast news, DDOcast Splat's still kind of in this weird place. We were planning on coming back, and then I started working the nights that we were going to be playing, so I haven't figured that out yet. But I think that might come back in the nearest future in some capacity. And that'll take us to the end of the show. Arkat, you want to plug anything?
No, thank you, sir.
Samus?
I just point people to the usual places, right? The Twitch and the YouTube over at Samus Gurobo. Appreciate it. Streaming. A couple of different times, Monday through Friday. Kind of cover all the different time zones for like the important time breaks, right? Like lunch breaks and pre-bed breaks and stuff like that. So.
Voodoo?
You can find over 1,000 videos on my DDO YouTube channel, Vooduspyce, quest walkthroughs, raid guides, crafting tutorials, and so much more. And you can find me live streaming nearly every day on Twitch channel, Vooduspyce, where I was streaming before the show and will be streaming after the show.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us today. And thanks to all the contributors for DDOCast and to San Diego Games, Wizards of the Coast, and to Cyberbears for hosting the podcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can visit our website at DDOcast.com, or you can support us on Patreon. If you have a DDO-themed webpage or you Twitch DDO and you'd like to be featured on our website, email us at DDOcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up at DDOcast.com for our show notes, MP3s, our calendar, previous shows, and other fun stuff, including various adventures in DDO, D&D Tabletop, and even some other games. If you have a comment on this episode, a question you'd like to hear us answer, or a topic you'd like to hear us discuss, or you just want to say hi, leave a comment or email us at DDOcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media and follow us for the latest cast updates at DDOcast on Twitter is the best place. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chest level appropriate, have fun, and don't forget to gather for bus.